Well, joining me now is Republican Congressman of Kentucky and ranking member on the Committee on Oversight and Reform. James Comer is here. Congressman, great to have you on the show.
Great to be on.
Are you amazed? Well, I know you're not amazed by this, but the mainstream media continues to ignore this story. This is a crisis beyond proportions that we should even be talking about. This is crazy what's happening, Congressman.
It's unbelievable. And I went to New Mexico and I've been to the detention facility in El Paso that's always in the news. And until you go there and see it with your own eyes, you can't imagine how bad it is. Traveling through New Mexico with my colleague Yvette Harrell in her southern New Mexico district, we saw the just tons and tons of wall that we in Congress appropriated the funding for. The government approved the contracts to build. And Joe Biden's first act in office was to halt construction on the border wall. And then the next action he made was to end the return to Mexico policy, and or the remain in Mexico policy. It's just terrible legislation that Joe Biden continues to advocate for, that's created the Biden border crisis, that's helping to spread the Delta variant. It's helping to increase crime, human trafficking, drugs all throughout America. And I know Americans are focused on his dismal failure in Afghanistan, but what's happening on the southern border is just as bad.
You know, Congressman, I am convinced that it is his active plan to import poverty to this nation, to fundamentally change the makeup of America. Would you agree with me?
I think that he's definitely trying to change the makeup of America. I think they're trying to do it for an electoral gain. There's no question that the policies that they have are trying to encourage more people to be dependent on the government, to try to promote their vision of socialism in America. And we're seeing the effects of that. We're seeing inflation as a result of printing money. We're seeing uncertainty with businesses because of the tax increase proposals that Biden, Schumer, and Pelosi are trying to usher through Congress over the next few weeks. So they're really putting a lot of harm on the American economy and on Americans. So I think there's a lot of validity to your theory there.
What can be done? Because Americans are frustrated. You've got to be frustrated in Washington with them in complete control, that being the left. What can you, your Republican colleagues, do to at least try to put a stop to this? And of course, this runaway spending legislation we have coming down the pike.
Well, it's great that you mentioned the Remain in Mexico policy being overturned by the judges, and that is a result of 2 attorneys general filing lawsuits. We have to continue to work with our partners in state governments, filing lawsuits against the unconstitutional executive orders that the Biden administration is trying to enact. And we also, as members of Congress, being in the minority, we have to continue to message. And we've gone to the border and we've invited the press to the border. Newsmax has done a tremendous job covering what's really going on the border. And I think the word is spreading that a part of the reason we're seeing an uptick in COVID is because we have all these people that are testing positive with COVID coming across the border, same with drugs and everything else. So we've got to keep fighting, even though they have a few more members.
I'll tell you what, Congressman, you get the award of the month because the idea of what I call lawfare, taking our battle to the courts, the Democrats are brilliant at this. That's what we need to be doing. Most congressmen, come on, they don't give us that idea. That's a great idea. We've been talking about it a lot on this show. I appreciate you bringing it up. James Comer, thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. You know, taking our fight to the courts actually gets things done. How many times do we hear elected leaders give us ideas? Oh, well, we'll crow and we'll yell and scream and we can't do anything to block Nancy Pelosi. He just laid out a plan that we could do something to stop it, and that's taking it to the courts. Love it.